In the summer of 1978, the West German national team arrived in South America as the reigning world champions. 4 years earlier, they had reached the pinnacle of glory in Munich, but now the Panzer faced the harsh challenges of time and change. Emperor Franz Beckenbauer had retired from the team, and the bomber, Gerd Müller, was also gone. The burden of defending the crown now rested on the shoulders of a generation of players in their prime, a blend of seasoned veterans and young stars eager to prove themselves. Under the guidance of coach Helmut Schön, West Germany that year displayed a disciplined, pragmatic style of play, but lacked the flamboyant flair of previous years. They fought, they strived, but ultimately had to stop after a historic defeat against Austria in Cordoba, a match dubbed the Miracle of Cordoba by the Austrians, but a source of profound pain for the Germans. But football, after all, is just a part of life. When the final whistle blows, when the stadium lights dim, those heroes of the pitch return to their real lives. Nearly half a century has passed since that summer in Argentina, and the fates of those West German players have diverged in countless ways. Some have become powerful figures in world football. Some have found peace in painting, and others have quietly left this world, leaving behind voids that can never be filled. Today, let's turn the pages of memory together to better understand the lives and destinies of the boys who donned the white jersey of Die Mannschaft in 1978. Rolf Russmann, the giant and the low notes. Rolf Russmann, the steely center back of West Germany in 1978, was a giant in both the literal and figurative sense, standing 1.85 meters tall and possessing an extremely powerful, fearless playing style. Russmann, at the age of 27, was a reliable anchor alongside Berti Vogts. He played the full 90 minutes in all 6 matches, using his physical strength to subdue opposing forwards. Russmann wasn't a flamboyant defender. He was a diligent, taciturn, and fierce worker, representing the Schalke 04 blood flowing through his veins. Rolf Russmann's life was a sine wave with highs and lows. He was involved in the 1971 Bundesliga match-fixing scandal and was suspended, but he made a strong comeback to prove his worth. After retiring, Russmann proved he possessed not only physical strength, but also a sharp mind, becoming the sporting director for clubs such as Schalke 04, Mönchengladbach, and Stuttgart. He was known as a decisive, straightforward, and visionary manager who played a major role in reviving the teams he worked for. However, behind that tough exterior lies a kind heart and a silent battle with illness. Russmann always devoted his love to his family and football, but fate was cruel to him. The insidious prostate cancer eroded the strength of the once mighty warrior. He fought it with the spirit of an ironclad defender, never complaining. However, that tumultuous journey came to a sad end. On October 2, 2009, Rolf Russmann passed away at the age of 58, just days before his birthday. His passing left a huge void in German football. Russmann's legacy is not only his passion on the pitch, but also a lesson in falling, getting back up, and dedicating oneself until the very last breath. Sepp Maier, the cat, Ansing, and the unfinished ending. In goal for West Germany in 1978, the familiar name Sepp Maier remained. At 34, the Ansing cat was the team's most reliable source of morale. With incredibly quick reflexes, mastery of the penalty area, and a humorous, eccentric personality, Maier was not only an outstanding goalkeeper, but also an entertainer on the pitch. He started every match in the tournament, giving his all to save a team undergoing a transition. Although West Germany couldn't defend their title, Sepp Maier's class was undeniable. However, fate dealt Sepp Maier a cruel blow shortly after that tournament. Just 1 year after the 1978 World Cup, his illustrious career was abruptly ended by a serious car accident in July 1979. The accident caused severe chest and lung injuries, forcing him to retire permanently at the age of 35 while still at the peak of his form. This event was a huge shock, plunging Maier into difficult times mentally. But with his innate optimism, he rose strongly. He became a legendary goalkeeping coach for Bayern Munich and the German national team, and the mentor who molded the great Oliver Kahn later on. In real life, Sepp Maier has retained his witty personality. He has written books, participated in television programs, and is always the center of laughter at former players' reunions. He lives happily with his family in the suburbs of Munich, enjoying golf and tennis. He hasn't let the accident from years ago become a haunting memory, but instead transformed it into motivation to contribute in a different role. Today, at the age of 80, Sepp Maier has fully retired, living a peaceful life of a fulfilled old age, respected throughout Germany as an immortal legend in the world of football. Berti Vogts, the persistent hunting dog. West Germany's captain at the 1978 World Cup was Berti Vogts, nicknamed Der Terrier, the Terrier, for his relentless tackling and unwavering fighting spirit. At 31, Vogts was a spiritual leader, inspiring his teammates. He played every minute, throwing himself into every play to protect Sepp Maier's goal. Although he couldn't help his team defend their title, the image of Berti Vogts gritting his teeth and shouting instructions has been etched into the minds of fans. He embodied dedication and iron discipline. After retiring as a player, Berti Vogts continued his lifelong dedication to football as a coach. He led the German national team to victory in Euro 1996, a pinnacle of his coaching career. He also ventured into various footballing nations such as Kuwait, Scotland, Nigeria, and Azerbaijan. His life was a constant journey, always preoccupied with tactics and strategy. Vogts lived and breathed football, sacrificing much of his personal time for this burning passion. Berti Vogts' personal life is quite private. He is a man of work, serious, and sometimes austere. He rarely appears in the media, instead attending professional seminars or charity matches. His strictness on the field seems to have carried over into his personality off the field, making him a respected but also demanding mentor. Today, at 79, Berti Vogts has retired, living a quiet life after years of competition. Although he no longer directly coaches, his opinions still carry weight and are listened to by experts in Germany. Rainer Bonhof, the midfielder with no lungs. In the 1978 West German squad, Rainer Bonhof embodied the spirit of mature youth and unwavering fighting ability. At 26, Bonhof was no longer the youngest player to win the 1974 World Cup, but had become an irreplaceable pillar in the midfield. With his boundless stamina, thunderous long-range shots, and accurate crosses, he played in all 6 matches of the tournament, acting as the lungs supplying oxygen to the team's play. Bonhof's image of charging forward, unafraid of physical contact, became a symbol of the never-give-up German spirit, even in the most difficult circumstances. After that tournament, Rainer Bonhof's career continued to flourish. He left Borussia Mönchengladbach to join Valencia in Spain, where he won the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup and the Copa del Rey, solidifying his status as an international star. After retiring from football due to an ankle injury in 1983, Bonhof didn't leave the sport, but transitioned into coaching. He served as an assistant to Berti Vogts with the German national team, coached the German U21 team, and tried his hand at various clubs. His life was a series of journeys, from Germany to Spain, then Scotland, always seeking new challenges and dedicating himself wholeheartedly to the beautiful game. Off the pitch, Rainer Bonhof is a calm and reserved man. He dislikes the media frenzy and focuses on his professional work. Currently, he serves as vice president of Borussia Mönchengladbach, the club that made his name. He dedicates much of his time to developing strategies for the club and passing on his valuable experience to the younger generation. His life is a testament to loyalty and enduring love. Today, at 72, Rainer Bonhof remains healthy and still appears in the stands of Borussia Park every weekend, watching the young players' progress like a quiet father, guarding the legacy of the past. Manfred Kaltz, the father of the Bananenflanke curve. Mentioning Manfred Kaltz, football fans of the 70s and 80s will immediately remember a right back with a modern attacking style and especially his famous banana-shaped crosses, Bananenflanke. At the 1978 World Cup, at the age of 25, Kaltz was the first-choice right back, playing the full 540 minutes. Not only was he solid in defense, but he was also a dangerous attacking threat when he pushed forward, combining well with the strikers thanks to his ability to deliver perfectly placed and curling crosses. Kaltz played quietly and sparingly, but was extremely effective, making him one of the most consistent defenders in the world at that time. Manfred Kaltz's club career was closely tied to Hamburger SV, HSV, where he became a living legend with a record number of appearances in the Bundesliga. He was a key player in HSV's European Cup victory in 1983, defeating the mighty Juventus. Interestingly, Kaltz also holds the record for the most own goals in the Bundesliga, 6, but that pales in comparison to his 76 penalty goals, scored with a cool, clinical style. After retiring, Kaltz chose a life away from the spotlight. He didn't pursue a coaching career with big clubs, instead focusing on youth football. Manfred Kaltz's private life is quite discreet. He was once married to singer Pilgi, but they later separated. Kaltz devoted himself to his own football training school, where he personally taught young children crossing skills and footballing intelligence. He found joy in nurturing talent, living a simple life free of scandals. The image of a legendary former European champion patiently correcting the movements of children on the sunny training pitch is a beautiful example of quiet dedication. Today at 71, Manfred Kaltz remains involved with football in his own way, quietly but meaningfully. Bernhard Dietz, the captain of the working class. Bernhard Dietz arrived at the 1978 World Cup at the age of 30, bringing with him the maturity and composure of an experienced man. Not playing for giants like Bayern or Gladbach, Dietz was the symbol of MSV Duisburg, a humble team. This is what shaped his unique character: simple, approachable, and highly responsible. In the tournament, he played in 5 matches, a reliable anchor on the left flank. Dietz's playing style wasn't flashy, but was extremely effective, reflecting the character of a hard-working son of the Ruhr region. After 1978, Dietz's greatest glory came when he captained West Germany to victory in the 1980 European Championship. He became the beloved Enatz of the fans, a star without the star syndrome. After retiring, he transitioned to coaching lower league teams and youth development. He turned down many lucrative offers to stay true to his philosophy. Football is about joy and community connection. He worked in a mechanical workshop before becoming a professional player and never forgot his roots. Bernhard Dietz's everyday life is a peaceful picture. He lives happily with his wife and children in Wallstede. He regularly participates in charitable activities, helping underprivileged children through football. Without scandals or ostentation, Dietz is loved for his sincerity and kindness. He is proof that a great player doesn't necessarily need to live a life of luxury. Today, at 77, Bernhard Dietz remains healthy, a cheerful farmer of German football, enjoying his old age in his garden and cherished memories. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, from young talent to supreme power. At the 1978 World Cup, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge was just 22 years old, a representative of the future generation. He had a brilliant individual performance with 3 goals, showcasing his powerful runs, speed, and diverse finishing skills. Rummenigge that year was like a rough gem beginning to shine brightly, promising to replace his senior teammates and lead Die Mannschafts attack. His passionate performance was a rare bright spot in an otherwise disappointing tournament for Germany. After the tournament, Rummenigge's career skyrocketed. He won 2 consecutive European Golden Balls, 1980-1981, becoming one of the greatest strikers in the history of world football. But even more remarkable is his career after retirement. Rummenigge became a brilliant manager, serving as CEO of Bayern Munich for many years and as president of the European Club Association, ECA. He was the architect of the powerful Bayern Empire we see today, a powerful, shrewd, and calculating man in the world of football. Rummenigge's personal life is a model of football's elite. He is wealthy, successful, and has global influence. However, he is also a family man, living a private life and protecting the privacy of his wife and children very carefully. His decisiveness and leadership skills on the field have been perfectly translated into his managerial role. Today, at the age of 69, although he has left direct managerial positions, Rummenigge remains a powerful godfather of German football, his voice still carrying immense weight in all important decisions in European football. Klaus Fischer, king of the bicycle kicks. Klaus Fischer participated in the 1978 World Cup at the age of 28, carrying with him the reputation of a deadly striker in the Bundesliga. Although he didn't score any goals in that tournament due to the team's overall lackluster performance, Fischer's threat always kept opposing defenders on their toes. He was famous for his positioning, and especially his renowned bicycle kick, a trademark that became synonymous with his name throughout his career. Fischer was a classic center forward, always lurking and punishing opponents' mistakes. After the 1978 tournament, Fischer continued to be a terror to goalkeepers at Schalke 04 and FC Köln. His most memorable moment came at the 1982 World Cup with a spectacular bicycle kick against France in the semi-final, one of the most beautiful goals in World Cup history. After retiring, he opened a football school called the Klaus Fischer Football School, where he taught finishing skills to young children. He lived a simple life, deeply connected to the Ruhr region, where he is celebrated as a living legend. Klaus Fischer's personal life was very peaceful. He was a humble, gentle man, a stark contrast to his ruthless demeanor on the pitch. He regularly attended matches of the former players' team and always greeted fans with a friendly smile. He appreciated what football offered and wanted to give back to life by nurturing young talent. Today, at 75, Klaus Fischer remains in good health, can still perform some basic technical maneuvers to demonstrate to his students, and remains a source of pride for Schalke fans. Heinz Flohe, a talented artist with a tragic fate. Heinz Flohe, the talented midfielder of FC Köln, arrived in Argentina in 1978 at the age of 30. He was a true artist on the pitch, possessing exquisite individual technique and mesmerizing dribbling skills. In a West German team that relied heavily on physical strength, Flohe was a soft touch, providing a dynamic element. He played in 4 matches and scored 2 goals, an impressive performance that demonstrated his class, even though he wasn't always given the same opportunities as the stars of Bayern or Gladbach. Flohe was the hero who led FC Köln to a historic double in 1978, and this World Cup was the stage for him to reaffirm his international talent. However, Heinz Flohe's fate after retirement was filled with sadness and pain. His career ended prematurely due to a horrific leg fracture in 1979. Leaving the pitch, he struggled to adapt to his new life, even battling cardiovascular problems. His life was not as glamorous as that of his former teammates, but rather quiet and full of anxieties. He lived a secluded life, rarely appearing in the media, but in the hearts of Cologne fans, he will forever remain an immortal icon. The real tragedy struck in 2010 when Heinz Flohe fell into a prolonged vegetative state following a severe stroke. He lay there, motionless, for 3 years under the devoted but desperate care of his family. And then, that painful journey came to an end. On June 15, 2013, Heinz Flohe breathed his last at the age of 65, freed from physical pain. His passing plunged the entire city of Cologne into tears. His legacy consists of magical dribbling skills, a gentle smile, and a haunting life story about the fragility of a talented individual's existence. Dieter Müller, the goal-scoring killer and the broken heart. Another name associated with Müller in West Germany's attack in 1978 was Dieter Müller. At 24, Dieter Müller was a fearsome goal-scoring machine, having just won the Golden Boot at Euro 1976. In Argentina, he scored 2 goals in 4 matches, demonstrating his keen killer instinct. Despite living in the shadow of Gerd Müller, Dieter made a name for himself with his heading ability and exquisite one-touch finishing. He was a crucial attacking force for FC Köln in their historic 1977-1978 season. Dieter Müller's life was a series of ups and downs. He moved to France to play for Bordeaux and achieved great success. After retiring, he opened a football school and became president of Kickers Offenbach. However, his private life was plagued by a devastating tragedy. His son, Alexander, died at the age of 16 from a brain tumor. The pain of losing his son overwhelmed this strong man for a long time. But that's not all. Dieter Müller himself has also faced death. In 2012, he suffered a severe heart attack and fell into a coma. However, with extraordinary willpower and a love of life, he triumphed over death and returned to normalcy. Having experienced these life-threatening events, Dieter Müller now cherishes every moment. He spends a lot of time with his family and participates in charitable activities supporting children with terminal illnesses. Today, at age 70, Dieter Müller lives a peaceful and meaningful life. He is a living testament to the strength of the human spirit, overcoming loss and illness to continue spreading love. His journey is not just about goals, but a song of resilience in the face of adversity. Hansi Muller, the charming romantic. Hansi Muller, the youngest player on the team at just 20 years old, brought a breath of fresh air to Argentina. With his handsome movie star looks and elegant, skillful playing style, Hansi Muller was dubbed the Prince of German football. Although he only played 4 matches and scored 1 goal, his smooth left-footed ball control captivated audiences. He represented a new generation of German players, playing with inspiration and creativity rather than relying solely on rigid discipline. Hansi Muller's later career was closely associated with VfB Stuttgart and Inter Milan. He was one of the few German players to achieve success in Italy in the 1980s. After retiring, thanks to his eloquent speaking skills and attractive appearance, he became a renowned speaker, a brand ambassador, and a member of the Stuttgart Board of Directors. He also participated in organizing the 2006 World Cup in Germany, contributing to a positive image for his country. Hansi Muller's personal life is fulfilling and successful. He knows how to enjoy life, loves Italian culture, and has an elegant lifestyle. He always appears with a radiant smile, inspiring positive feelings in those around him. Hansi Muller has proven that footballers can also be refined gentlemen and successful in many other fields. Today, at 67, he remains a highly influential figure, a sought-after speaker, and an icon of success and happiness. Rudiger Abramczik, the god of crossfire. Rudiger Abramczik, nicknamed Abi, participated in the 1978 World Cup at the age of 22. Along with Klaus Fischer, he formed a devastating attacking duo at Schalke 04. Abramczik was famous for his speedy dribbling down the right wing and his perfectly accurate crosses. In Argentina, he played 3 matches and scored 1 goal, leaving an impression as a tricky and unpredictable winger. He was hailed by fans as Flankengott, the god of crosses. After the tournament, Abramczik continued to play for several major clubs such as Dortmund and Galatasaray. After retiring as a player, he transitioned to a coaching career, but mainly managed smaller teams or worked in lower-level leagues. He once led the Latvian national team to Euro 2004, a historic achievement for the country's football. His coaching career has been a tireless adventure across many different lands. In his personal life, Rudiger Abramczik leads a relatively quiet existence. He runs a sports and travel business and enjoys spending time with his family. He is a cheerful, outgoing person who maintains good relationships with his former teammates. Although he didn't become a world-class coach, he is content with what he has achieved. Today, at 68 years old, Abramczik remains healthy and frequently appears at Schalke 04 events, greeted by fans as a hero of the old days. Bernd Holzenbein, a legend of Eintracht Frankfurt. Bernd Holzenbein, the 1974 World Cup winner, arrived in Argentina in 1978 at the age of 32 as a seasoned veteran. He was the one who won the penalty in the 1974 final, and 4 years later, he still retained his cunning and intelligence in his playing style. Playing in 3 matches and scoring 1 goal, Holzenbein still proved his worth despite his declining physical condition. He was the soul and living symbol of Eintracht Frankfurt. After retiring from the national team, Holzenbein continued his contributions to Frankfurt, helping the team win the UEFA Cup in 1980. After retiring, he became the chief architect of Frankfurt's development as vice president and scout. He was the one who discovered talents like Tony Yeboah and J.J. Okocha, bringing a fiery attacking style of play to the Eagles. His life was intertwined with the city of Frankfurt. He was loved not only for his talent, but also for his loyalty and strategic vision. Holzenbein's personal life was very simple. He was a family man, living a quiet life and avoiding unnecessary attention. He spent his later years following his beloved team, enjoying the joy of seeing Frankfurt win the Europa League in 2022. For the people of Frankfurt, he is an inseparable part of their history. However, the cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death spares no one. On April 15, 2024, Bernd Holzenbein passed away at the age of 78 after a long battle with illness. His passing, just months before Euro 2024 in Germany, was a source of immeasurable sadness. He is gone, but his legacy as a brilliant player and dedicated manager will live on forever with the Main River. Erich Beer, 8, and a new life in Munich. Erich Beer, a midfielder for Hertha Berlin, participated in the tournament at the age of 31. Known by the nickname Ita, he was a midfielder, but possessed a remarkable goal-scoring ability comparable to a striker. At the 1978 World Cup, he played in 4 matches, playing a crucial role in maintaining tempo and supporting the attack. Beer was a hard-working player who played with intelligence and composure. He is a legend of Hertha Berlin, beloved by the capital's fans. After retiring from playing, Erich Beer did not pursue a top-level coaching career, but chose a peaceful life in Munich. He briefly worked as a coach, but soon realized he was better suited to a more independent lifestyle. He spends time with his family, tends to his garden, and enjoys refined hobbies. He rarely appears in the media, choosing to live a secluded life amidst the hustle and bustle. Today, at 78, Erich Beer is living a peaceful life. He still keeps in touch with his former teammates, but is no longer deeply involved in football. His story is proof that choosing to retire at the right time, finding happiness and quietude after years of the hustle and bustle on the pitch, is a good thing.